Hey, it's Mandy from Mending Mandy. If you've ever been abused, got your heart ripped out, and then someone said to you, oh, it couldn't have been that bad, could it? Please go ahead and like and subscribe, and also comment your rage down below. I've definitely been told that. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about what it means to be healed. You know, a lot of people talk about this because, hey, when you're abused, you want to be healing. This is what my channel is about, healing. Today I saw a post from someone that said 5 ways to know that you're healing. And to quote a few of them, it said, you've healed if you're not lonely in your own company. You've healed if you're happy in your reality. You've healed if other people cannot affect your mental health. So that's a few of them. I can't remember them all. But it just made me think, what do I think healing is? Because I thought about that post and it just made me feel like, okay, this sounds like you've arrived if you're not lonely, if you're happy, if you don't let other people affect your mental health. And I just don't think that that's the case, because I, for one, am not sure if we ever arrive at the fullest healing that we can. Healing is a lifelong process, and you can become healthier, but I don't know if we can ever get to that state of complete health. This post made me feel like that was the nirvana you could reach. And it also made me think, okay, so what does being fully healed mean? Or close to it? And I don't think it's that simple. The other thing is, we're all human. We're all going to get lonely. We're all going to be unhappy in our reality sometimes. And we definitely are going to let other people affect our mental health, okay? Like, how can you not? I mean, as a married woman, you know, my husband and I definitely have our fights, and we have our ups and downs, and we're going to affect each other mentally. I mean, and everyone else in the world affects us mentally. It's just not realistic. So I thought about it, and although those could be good indicators, you know, that you're healing, I think a better explanation is this. We need to have a better relationship with ourselves after abuse. If you've been abused, and if you've been alive, I mean, you know that when someone treats you badly or abuses you, you become a worse version of who you're supposed to be, and maybe a really bad one. I know for me, with my abuse over the 8 years that I was abused from my guardian, I thought the worst of myself as a teenager into young adulthood, because I was conditioned to believe that I was a sinful person, that I was a rebellious person, that I was a selfish person. All of these things were just pounded into my head from the age of 14 on. And I believed that. And so it made me a very bad version of who I was supposed to be, a very crippled version of Amanda. And so I think about it, and I'm like, okay, back then when I was abused, I didn't put up boundaries for myself because I didn't think I could. I was always being controlled by someone down to what I wore, that I wasn't able to say no to certain things. I was forced to do things I didn't want to do, forced to be someone I didn't want to be. So I wasn't able to put up boundaries. I wasn't able to say no. I couldn't say no because that was, in my abuser's eyes, sinful, because she was my earthly authority, and what she told me to do was God's word, literally, guys. I thought that I was hurtful and that I just created a stream of hurt wherever I went in people's lives, because that's what I was told. You know, I always was insecure if I offended someone because I was always offending my abuser. So these are some things, some examples, and I think about it and I'm like, okay, I have a better relationship with myself now. I say no to things that I don't want to do, and I feel better about it. I used to feel really guilty when I started doing that because I didn't people please. the way I used to. And that felt weird. That felt uncomfortable. Now I say no to things that I don't want to do more. I put up boundaries. I don't hang out with people who I don't want to hang out with, or people who I think are detrimental to my mental health. And I don't feel as bad about that anymore. I couldn't say that for myself 5 years ago when I had just gotten out of my abusive relationship. I don't think as poorly about myself anymore. I'm not as paranoid about if people are offended with me, because I just feel better about myself. Because I'm like, oh, I'm allowed to say what I think. And if I offend people, I don't want to, but I'm not walking around like, oh my God, I've offended everyone. Oh my gosh, everyone hates me. So these are just some ways that I know that I have healed, that I am healing. So all I'm telling you to do is go ahead and think about how you were when you were being abused, what you thought of yourself, some conscious beliefs that you had about yourself, and compare that to now. Compare how you acted before to how you act now, and just see the ways that you're changing and growing for the better. Get some help from a counselor, because everyone needs counseling. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you haven't technically been abused. We all need it. So that's my advice. And just know that if you're changing for the good and you're realizing unhealthy behaviors that you had or have, and you're changing those, you are healing. We don't need a strict to-do list. So that's what I would encourage you. And the other thing to say about that is, as you heal, your relationships should get better. Because it is the insecure people, the broken people, like I used to be more broken. And old Amanda would have created a hellstorm of bad relationships because I was insecure, I was broken, and I transferred that onto every relationship. So take heart. You're healing, even if you don't meet a strict criteria. You can look and see that you are healing. So be encouraged. And I hope you all have a great day. My fellow emo kids, as always, I hear you, I see you, I love you, and I support you. Thanks so much for watching.